all of a sudden all my interest just dropped. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I got pretty far in the game. You know.
Yo, by the way, I just I'm gonna hit the record button just in case you drop some knowledge on accident. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going.
Yeah.
Anyway, but just go ahead and rap.
Yeah. And that whole thing with imaginations, man, it has a lot to do with our manhood. You see what I'm saying? Because as you get older, your imagination wants more facts and wants more truth to actually to throw at your mind. You know what I'm saying? Because your imagination is part of your soul. Your willpower is part of your soul. Your memory is part of your soul. And as you get older, you want to make more sense about your reality. As you know, but when you're a kid, you can take a G.I. Joe and make him do whatever in your own mind, and like your parents can leave you alone with a whole bunch of G.I. Joe men, and you just done had a whole war in your own mind. But you can't do that now. So as we get older, this is why I want them to push simulation, because if you keep on playing video games and they don't get realer, or they don't tend or go toward realism, it can actually suspend your growth, and it can keep you in a perpetual state of childhood. They got some great videos on YouTube where I forgot the guy's name, but he made a good video about the perpetual childhood in this country and how people are not growing up, and video games is a part of it. TV, how they are dumbing things down. It's all a part of it, man. And we need to try to grow up. Now I know going cold turkey on the games is like, that may be unheard of, man, but trying to demand something to be more real, it may be a step in the right direction,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, because like the point you made earlier about how as a kid, because I remember, I'll give you an example. When I was in the military, there was a game called NBA, I think it was NBA Street, and then there was another one like NBA Hoops or something where you could, I think it was like Dwight Howard was on the cover, if I'm not mistaken, and it was Stephon Marbury was on the cover. And it was like some kind of NBA street type hoops thing. And it was like 2-on-2. You could play 21. You could do all this kind of bounce the ball off the backboard and off somebody's face.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so funny because at the time I was so into AND1 basketball, and I was getting my crossovers up and I'm doing all these crazy moves on the basketball court. But as time went on and the next one came out, and I was thinking like, I can't even, this was like, a couple years later, because they didn't come out year after year because it took a while. And this was on PS2, so the next one didn't really come out till on the 360. And by this time, I was probably, I don't know, somewhere around maybe 4 or 5 years older, 3 or 4 years older before I even looked at it. And I remember thinking, like, how could I even, like, I rented NBA Street and I played it for no more than 5 minutes. Yeah. And I remember saying to myself, this is too much, this is too childish. Yeah. This is way too childish. I can't play this anymore. And it's not about, oh man, I'm too grown, I shouldn't be playing video games. It was more or less, I want something that relates to reality, something that relates to who I am in real life now, because this is not who I am anymore. Yeah. I can't play these little kid games. When people ask me to, they tell me things like they like certain games, like this new Batman game that came out, Arkham something, where it's like a shooting game, and it was supposed to be the answer to Call of Duty, and people were like, "Oh man, shaking it." Like, I kept making fun of it because, in my mentality, I was like, that's something that grown ass men, I couldn't see myself playing it simply because I have a stronger, like you said, my childhood imagination has evolved into something that's more that has a higher grip on reality on in my current state of mind, and I look at that stuff now and I'm like, I can't see myself playing that. And then again, I could play something for a short time that's childlike, for something little, a quick hop in a second or whatever, but I could never, like, again, pushing simulation is exactly where we are right now.
Yeah, yo, I agree, man. It's like simulation. It's like the final frontier for men play video games. After your itch for simulation dies out, then you're gonna naturally put down the video games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, when you grow up, like when you play with toys, then you gradually put the toys down, then you start playing with the girls. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, you didn't make yourself do that. It just happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't remember having the willpower to say, you know what, man, I'm gonna have to put these toys down. Like, nah, after a while, it's just like, like I said before, my imagination just grew. And that can be frustrating. That was part of the reason why I was so mad with Madden 09. Of course, the fact that it was a tremendous drop off from 08 for 09 as far as Madden goes. So that's when I started my tirade on those 500, 600 videos on, my original channel.
Right.
And, that was part of it. It was because, like, yo, man, like, I'm grown. Like, why do they think they can sell this stuff to grown people?
Yeah, like a kid's game, a little kid's arcade game to a grown-ass man.
Yeah. And part of it, maybe, it was my fault for even getting it, but there's no way, because it's like, this stuff is not something you put down cold turkey. Like you don't start playing games one year and then next year you put it down unless it gets tremendously whacked.
Right.
In 1 year, and sometimes it doesn't happen like that. And there is a whole bunch of dumbing down going on all over the industry, man. Like, I don't know how the games are now, but when I go into GameStop just for curiosity's sake.
The example about, you have, like I said, you have some people that's out there that don't know what they want to do with their lives. So they bury themselves behind the video games. They bury themselves knee deep in the video games, and then some of them have a YouTube channel, so they're like, well, this is what I'm going to do. The problem with that is you're not ever, regardless of how good you get at a video game, regardless of how good you get at being a commentator and making all kinds of money on YouTube, you will never ever reach your true human potential in a digital world.
Yep.
There's a blindfold over a lot of people that they don't understand. I could put up 1,000 videos, but as long as I know in my heart who I really am outside of the games, when I put the sticks down, and not only that, if I have a purpose in life away from the video games, a real purpose that has a means to an end. I don't mean just a purpose that's just like something I'm fighting for. No, I'm talking about something that you actually acquire in the end of the day, whether it's a relationship with your belief system, God, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a goal that you have in the physical, being that you get a job that you've always wanted, not just a job, but a career, and something that enhances the lives of other people. So that's what I hate about jobs. So they don't do shit for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times a job is just a dead end place where you just do what you got to do to make ends meet, to pay the bills. But a career, sometimes in a career, you have a chance at actually, helping others around you. So the idea behind that whole thing is that there's a lot of people out there that decide, I'm just gonna bury myself into these video games because I don't have any actual idea for what my true purpose is. And with that being the case, they'll never ever reach their true potential. You feel what I'm saying? Not in the digital world, my man. Yeah. But anyway, I recorded this whole conversation. That might be a video right there, but nonetheless.
Yeah, man. This might be. We're gonna continue this part 2 and 3. You can book that.